Hello students, so this time I am back. You can see it's written 12th economics with 12th economics, and it is one of the chapter from Indian economic development. The chapter is employment growth, informalizations and other issues. So now as we start the chapter, as I am going to start the chapter, I am going to deal with a basic word which you should know and you have heard in economics. This is a general English word. Worker. Who is a worker? A worker is a person who is engaged in production activity and contributing to GDP. So who is a worker? A worker is an individual or a person who is involved or engaged in production activity, in an economic activity, a producing activity, and thereby getting return for a service. So a worker is a person or an individual who is doing work, engaged, you can say rather engaged in producing activity or an economic activity. Economic activity comprises production, consumption, distribution and many other things. But here if I am saying economic activity, that means I am focusing on producing activity, not consumption activity, okay, not distribution, means not consumption activity. So worker is a person or an individual who is involved in producing activity and he gets reward for a service in return in the form of wages or salaries. It's just defined as worker. So hope the meaning of worker is clear to you all. Worker is a person who contributes to GDP. What is GDP? GDP is a gross domestic product. That means the total value of all final goods and services produced in an economy is known as GDP. So the total value of goods and services produced by a worker is produced by whom? Basically a worker, and they contribute to the GDP of that year. Now worker, types of worker, we will be seeing types of worker. There are categories of worker. Self-employed worker and hired worker. What does it mean? Self-employed, that means a person who is not hired, who is not working under anyone. He is self-employed, he is running a small business or a profession and he has engaged himself into that activity and getting return as reward as profit or salary. So this is called self-employed. That means in a very easy term you can understand, जिनका खुद का कुछ हो, जो कहीं काम न कर रहे हों. That means they are not hired by any institution, they are not working under anyone, they are self-employed. Even a tea seller is what? Self-employed. Hired workers. See me, I am a teacher, I am working in any institution, I am hired to work for this institution, Green Valley English School. So I am a hired worker. Hope the meaning of worker, the categories, the two main categories, self-employed and hired worker, is clear to you all. Who are self-employed workers and who is hired workers. Now again in hired workers there are two more categories. Let us see what are these two categories. Casual workers and regular worker or workers. Okay, casual worker and regular worker. Who are casual workers? They are not on roll for long time. That means they are on contract basis or they do work for certain period of time. Okay, they do not do full-time work. Regular worker is one who do full-time work and is entitled to some social benefits. What is social benefits? Social benefits means this worker will get gratuity fund, pensions and other benefits, provident funds, etc. But casual workers, they work on a daily wages, they work on daily basis and they get wages. So they are not entitled to any social benefits, or you can say they are not regular, they are temporary in nature. So this is what casual worker and regular the word itself implies they are regular on basis, they work, and when they retire they get some social benefits also. So hopefully in this chapter you understand what is worker till now: self-employed worker, hired worker. Hired worker of two types, casual and regular. Now whole this situation is termed as employment. If worker is working, it is creating what? A situation of employment. So employment is what? Employment is a situation, and employer is who? A person who is working. He is employed, he is doing job, he is working. So employment, when workers are working, it creates a situation of employment. So employment is a situation, worker is an individual who works or produce in an economy or contribute to GDP, that is total value of all final goods and services produced in an economy. So this is how workers contribute, and when worker is working, it creates a sense of employment or a situation of employment. So workers are of two types, self-employed and hired. Self-employed implies the workers who are doing their own business, or they are running or they are in profession like doctors, if they are running own clinic. Hired workers who are working under someone, who are working in any institution. Then hired workers are of two types, casual and regular. We have discussed this. Now let us move to the next topic. Hopefully it is clear to you all. So now let us see the next concept. That is, you can see I have written here labor supply and labor force. What is labor supply and what is labor force? As you have studied worker, employment, type of worker, and whatever categories was there, we have discussed. So the next term is labor supply and labor force. One thing more students I would like to underline while teaching that workers, I told that worker is one who is involved in producing activity. Now let me tell you, all economic activity is not producing activity. Okay, keep in your mind, all economic activity is not producing activity. Why? Because economic activity comprise consumption, production, distribution, sales, exchange and all. So all economic activity cannot be called producing activity. Producing activity means when one is involved in production process and is working for production, that activity is known as producing activity. So just keep this concept in mind. Though you are economics student, it should be clear to you all, but not, and it is my work to let you all understand this concept. So keep this concept in mind while definitely when you are studying this chapter. When I say about worker is involved in economic activity. So which economic activity they are involved? Producing activity. Now let us move. Labor supply and labor force. As you can see I have written here, it refers to a supply of labor at corresponding wage rate. What does it mean? Labor supply, basically supply of labor. Who are the laborers? The workers, okay, who are ready to work on a daily wages. So there is a difference between labor and salaried employee. Keep this thing also in your mind. So labor supply, it refers to the supply of labor corresponding wage rate. It refers to a man work on the basis of day at corresponding wage rate. Whereas when we are talking about labor force, means labor is forced to work. Labor force, that means laborers who are actually working or willing to work. It is not related to wage rate. Labor supply related to corresponding wage rate at which labor is working. But here wage rate is not relevant. That means wage rate has no reference with labor force. Remember this point. And wage rate has relevance with labor. What? Labor supply, not labor force. So what is labor supply and labor force? The term itself implies supply of basically a labor. So labor supply refers to a supply of labor at corresponding wage rate, whereas labor force refers to the laborers who are actually working. That means those who are actually working or even willing to work. मतलब जो वर्कर्स, जो लेबर्स काम कर रहे हैं या फिर उनकी इच्छा है काम करने की, बोथ आर इंक्लूडेड इन लेबर फोर्स एंड इट इज़ नॉट रिलेटेड टू वेज रेट. सो दिस कॉन्सेप्ट आई थिंक इज क्लियर. नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट will be workforce. Now let us see what is workforce. So moving to the next topic, workforce. So what is workforce? Let us see. try to understand workforce. Workforce refers to the number of persons who are actually working, and it does not account to those persons who are willing to work. So what is workforce? See, it refers to a person who are, it refers to a person who are actually working and does not account those who are willing to work. So, what is workforce? Workforce refers to a person who are actually working, and it does not account who are willing to work. Compare it with labor force. In labor force, what I discussed, labor force refers to a person who are actually working and willing to work. Whereas workforce says, or the definition of workforce is, it refers to a person who are actually working and it does not account who are willing to work. That means in workforce only those persons are accounted or counted who are actually working. Okay, those who are willing to work is not a part of workforce. And labor force refers to number of persons actually working plus number of persons willing to work. So that is what called labor force. Now, so we can easily calculate number of persons unemployed. Can we calculate? Yes. Number of persons unemployed is equal to what? Let us see. Labor force minus work force. That means number of persons who are actually working or willing to work minus number of persons who are actually working will give you the number of persons unemployed. So this is how number of persons unemployed can be calculated. Sometimes it is asked in exams and students get confused how to answer this. So it's very easy, though you know the definitions, but that time the mind do not work to that standard, to that level. You can answer. You are knowing answers, but you do not write answers. So students underline this, that number of persons unemployed is equal to labor force minus workforce. I hope the concept is clear, that who are workers, what is employment, the types of worker, okay, self-employed, hired, then hired workers are also two types, regular, casual. Then I discussed the concept labor force, labor supply, workforce and number of persons unemployed. So this was basic terms or terminology which you should know while studying this chapter of Indian economic development. This is all related to Indian economic development and is part of one of the important chapter, employment growth, informalization and other issues. So in this chapter basically you are going to study the basic terms, employment, whatever is related to employment, the growth, informalizations. Now moving ahead to the next, let us see the next topic. What next? What is next after this? So students, now let us see participation ratio. What is participation ratio? Participation means number of people participating. So we are going to see the participation ratio. It refers to a percentage of population actually participating in production activity. That means participation ratio refers to the population, those who are actually participating in any production activity. So it measures the ratio between total workforce and total population. It actually states this participation ratio actually states the ratio between total workforce and total population. So there's a formula also how to calculate rate of participation. Rate of participation is equal to total workforce upon total population into 100. This will give you a rate of participation. That means number of people actually participating, or what is the rate of participation in our country, in urban area, in rural area. Likewise, we calculate rate of participation. So hopefully this is clear to you all. These are the basic concepts which you should know and which you should try to understand. It's very easy. Nothing new is there, or nothing such hard terminology is there which you cannot understand. Hopefully I have given my best, I have given the best explanation. And yes, go through the video once, twice, thrice. If you have not subscribed, subscribe it so that you can get the videos as I post. So okay students, we will be meeting in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you.